can talk about it. In the back room of the back room, it was all bad fumes in the back room. Skeleton-filled closets in the back too. You can talk about it. 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 You can. In the back room of the back room, it was all bad fumes in the back room. Skeleton-filled closets in the back too. You can talk about it. 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 You can talk about it.
What's side? Yo. Episode 7, Lysa. Welcome to the Backroom Speaks podcast, the brave space for creatives. I believe that's what we are, right?
The brave space. Yeah.
The only one.
The only one.
Because there aren't any more.
Find me a...
Oh, come on, somebody. I'm Law, and this is...
I'm Lysa, and I don't know if you all watched our episode last week, but the Backroom Speaks podcast is still looking to grow and replace...
All right, welcome to the Backroom Speaks podcast. All right, the mother... All right. But yeah, though. I'm Law, she's Cocaine Bennett.
If you would like to join the Backroom Speaks podcast team... Hey, you better...
All right. West side. In the back. All right. Listen, it's episode 7. We made it 7 episodes.
Alisa at backroomspeakspod.com. Please send your resume.
This is terrible.
Cover letter.
Cover. Do they still do those? They don't still do cover letters.
We're taking them, okay? At this point, if you just send me your name, okay, and a picture, I'll be happy to have you.
That's pretty funny.
Shit.
Yeah, with the cover letter would be great. Anyway, 7th episode, man. Niggas thought we was done after 6. That's a fact.
I almost quit last week.
Well, last week was great. I thought.
Still trying to replace
Aunt Sally.
Nothing can replace Aunt Sally. Not my TV.
Not my TV!
Okay. Listen. Last week's episode... MJ loves... I think MJ loves Fighting Temptations too. Right?
Not my TV!
My Bose home theater. All right. So, last week... This is so loose, and it shouldn't be, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
He's not.
Last week's episode was pretty dope. I hope everybody got a chance to get to know I guess us.
I haven't finished it. Did you watch it? I haven't finished watching it.
Well, I mean, I was here.
Oh.
I was here when it happened.
I guess I didn't factor
so
that
were you,
into it.
actually.
Up for debate.
But I hope nobody... I did get some people say we were a little spicy on the pod last week. And
what?
If I offended anybody, stop being so offended. Like, I'm not apologizing.
If I offended you, you can email me at Alisa at backroomspeakspod.com and I will politely ignore your email.
Oh, gosh. But, no, we don't ever intend to offend anybody. So
he doesn't ever intend. No, we really don't.
We really don't. So if anybody's offended,
Dang.
we do apologize. And we'll try to do better next time.
Tell me that. I would have drafted an apology.
No, you wouldn't have.
It
would have been very condescending and all this
stuff.
It
would not have been. I don't want to be that person.
Okay, sure.
You are that person, but I don't want to become any more like you.
Anyway,
listen, like Jesus.
Continue to continue to watch the pods, man. I don't know what Lisa's doing today. It's a tough one for her today.
You have no idea.
Y'all keep her up. But continue to watch the pod. Continue to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Backroom Speaks Podcast. Continue to watch the pod. You can go right to backroomspeakspod.com. The episode, people called me out on that today because I didn't upload I didn't have the correct episode up for like a day.
You had one job.
On the website. I mean,
wow.
YouTube's still available, okay? But shout out to the people that's listening on Apple Music or Apple Podcasts. Mm-hmm. Leave reviews, rate, all that stuff. Spotify, Amazon.
Spotify is canceled.
All that jazz.
And if not already, follow us on Instagram at Backroom Speaks Pod and on Twitter at Backroom Speaks. We'll blah, blah, blah. I can't even talk today. We'll put all the handles up. So
Yeah, word.
For the 1,000th time, so y'all could,
For sure.
keep in tune or keep up, whatever.
Yeah, thank you, Lysa.
Yeah, anytime. I'm here all week.
This sounds like
I'm here every week, actually.
Actually, you are.
Yeah.
Listen, it is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Happy May.
And, do we celebrate? Yes, we celebrate mental health, mental wealth.
Mental wellness and
Please
wholeness.
just really take care of yourselves, guys. And by the way, hey, I wrote this song, right? I said, you can, okay. Listen, you
Shameless
can
plug. But in actuality, you can talk about it.
Seriously, get that stuff out of you, man. There's one thing that I've learned is that holding things in and just literally, it's like a bottle. Everybody says, so corny, but it's really true. And I'm dealing with the effects of that as we speak. And it's not pretty. Really invest. What Dr. Umar Johnson, donations. Okay, donate into your invest into your mental health. Mental wealth is where we're striving to be, for sure. And go ahead.
Oh, I mean, and if you need some encouragement, one of the things that I found before I could I'm not a very open person, I'll say, or at least I don't talk enough, but sometimes it takes somebody else being the catalyst to bring that stuff out of you that, the stuff that you wouldn't talk about, and finding a space that you can share, or even reading some stories on for other people. And so I've been following the National Alliance on Mental Illness for some years now. I was first introduced to they've been a while since been around at least since 1949 maybe. Fact check me, somebody. Anyway, and I first came to terms with it in college. There was a sub entity that, they basically did what the National Alliance for Mental Illness did on a smaller scale. And that's how I knew to follow them. And one of the themes that they took on for 2021 is hashtag not alone. So if you get some spare time, like in your free time, just type in that hashtag on any of your social media engines. Is that a thing? Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. Read some of those stories. Maybe that'll be something that'll push you to share your story. You can do the same. Leave that hashtag. There are so many other things out there. I just shed light on one, but maybe we can do something for that before the month is over. Like generate a list of, resources that people can, just resources for mental health and wellness and all of that. So this is like a super informal way to do that.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
again, that's just a thing. That's just one thing. Somebody, it may help somebody. I've been reading some people's stories. Some people I know have shared some stories up under there, which is actually what sparked me to read it. But just follow the hashtag a little bit more closely. So yeah, that's the thing. So again, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. And
you can talk about it.
You could talk about it. That's just where we at with it.
Facts. Oh, I turned it down, I guess.
You have failed.
Sorry.
Oh, I just love that.
Oh my God.
Okay. Look, it's episode 7. We're
episode
getting...
7, and again, we are looking for another co-host to
Intro.
replace Hot
Right.
Take.
You can talk about it.
What's up?
In the back room of the back room. It was all bad news.
All right, yo, Lysa, it's episode 7. What are we doing today, bro? I feel like we've been kind of bodying these topics a bit. Whether it's, put some respect on my name.
That was a good one.
The creators date non-creators.
That was a spicy one. That was a spicy day.
Sure, it was. What we do, creators with 9 to 5s, which was great as well. Shout out to Kendall Williams and Amber McCall. Peace by Amber. I need my stuff, Amber.
Yeah, I want my t-shirt.
By the way, just want to throw that out there. So we can wear your stuff on the pod, for sure. Yeah. But yeah, I think we've been bodying this stuff. We've been getting into really the quote-unquote back room. That's what the podcast is called, guys. But we've been getting into those conversations in the back of our minds. A lot of things that we've talked about so far, and with the guests that we've talked about them with, they've kind of was able to dig down and really, talk about whatever that was, with the creatives in 9 to 5, those struggles that we deal with having both, and the way we take it when someone tells us that we can't do it, yada yada yada. It's another one of those types of things today. And this is one that's dear to me as well, because I feel like as creatives, and I'm very committed to being a creative. My art is my life, right? But there's those moments that we all have where I don't want to do this stuff. I don't feel like it. I don't even have the drive to do it. Like the want to is gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like creative droughts, as Lysa.
Thing.
It's a real thing, and we're just gonna kind of
tired of this church.
Literally, we're gonna talk about some of our own experiences, because I feel like every creative, whether we talk about it or not, I think everyone goes through this at some point in their lives, and even if it's not art, like I think it's just a life thing. Like whether it's jobs, sometimes it's life. People kill themselves because they just don't feel like living. I don't mean to get morbid, but it's a thing, right? Like, everybody goes through those things, and I feel like it's important for us to share these stories, because some people are just like, yo, what do I do when this happens? People ask me that a million times, and I'm like, yo, just hold on to it. Like, and I don't really have a real advice. I'm not the advice giver, but I think we just want to kind of dive into that a bit. We have a guest today too, that you all have met already.
He's been here before.
Those who've been following us since the first episode. MJ Smith is his name.
Deacon M.Ye. Glory to God.
And he's gonna kind of just chat with us a bit about it. But before I bring MJ on, Lysa, like, can they can't see? Can you like talk about like a specific instance or situation where you've been kind of in a drought, or felt like you didn't have that desire to create?
Absolutely, I would love to. First, I just want to say it's so happy to be here on your show.
It's first of all, you said it's so happy to be here.
It's so happy. I'm so happy to be here.
I am very happy to be here.
I am very happy to be here. Glory be. But yeah, man. Oh man, the creative experience.
It's a mother.
It's a mother. It's a mother, my Lord. I guess speaking to one of my creative drought situations, I have my hands on a lot right now, and have for some years, which has been a blessing and a curse a bit, because I've run into a lot of people, met a lot of people, a lot of great things were birthed out of me just having my hands on a lot and being involved in so much. But on the other end of that, let's just be real, it's hard to pour from an empty cup. And, for a minute, I felt like a lot of the jobs that I was on, or like the stuff that I had my hands on, wasn't pouring into me nearly as much as I was pouring into it. And I might cry today. But that rendered me, while I was, always present and always available to help, push people to their moments and propel them to their destinies, and, sing, or just be around to help put ideas together, or just be a shoulder, or, just being the reliable person that I think I am. I think I'm pretty reliable. I think I show up when people ask me to. I think I'm pretty good at what I do when people call me to do whatever job that is. But on the other end of that, there came a time where I just didn't want to do anything. and or my body would just shut down. You know what I'm saying? And I just wasn't physically able to do anything. And that's a real thing. You got to listen to your body. You got to listen to your body. That's getting into something else, but
that's kind of what R. Kelly was saying. Like your body's calling. Oh, it's different. Sorry.
The Backroom Speaks is looking for an alternative co-host. Hopefully you all really believe me now. Please send your resumes to Lysa at Backroom.
That was kind of funny. Sorry, I just lightened it up a little bit. Sorry.
It's really terrible. But yeah, and so it was really peculiar for me because I was always able to shed some light on other people's stuff, but when it was time for me to sit down to accomplish whatever I needed to do, I didn't want to do that.
I think that's huge.
That's a big deal.
That's huge because go ahead, please.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. But I was able to be present and do what I was supposed to do for everybody else. But when it came down to me, sitting down to, work on my own stuff, whatever that looks like I fake arrange, I do little stuff. But when it was time for me to sit down and navigate my own purpose and figure out what it was that I wanted to do in my life or face, have a moment with God, like, hey, what is my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing? I couldn't do that. Because I was always on the go, and I don't regret my process in the slightest. I believe that everything that has happened in my life was just meant to happen that way. God just orchestrated it like that. But, geez, I could use a redo button on some stuff. I really could. Looking back over the last 7 to 10 years of my life, I could use a redo. But yeah, that's the thing.
I have a question regarding that, but I want to save that. Remember that.
Okay.
The doing for others, and when it comes to you doing for yourself, remember that, okay? Because I want to put a pin in that. I want to bring our guest in, right?
Did you want to talk about that at all?
I will.
Oh.
I will. I want to bring our guest in. Like I said, we got MJ Smith, keyboardist, producer extraordinaire from the West Side.
Down the street.
And he's a huge fan of the show. Thank you for joining us, first of all, MJ.
On a Sunday.
Thank you for having me, guys.
And he's of course drinking the devil's juice on the pod.
The devil's ale. Wow. Pale ale, if you will.
The devil's ale is funny.
Pretty good.
It's pop. It's pop, guys. It's pop.
Okay.
Get your soda pop face.
Soda pop. Listen, so I mean, I'm sorry, MJ, because like Lysa just kind of triggered so many things as she talked. For my own personal journey or issues or situations I've dealt with, but for you, and by the way, if anybody don't remember, MJ's he's a keyboard player, he's a producer, musician, singer.
He can sing.
Whoa, slow down with that.
He does a bunch of things, right? And plays like a million different instruments. Bass, lead guitar, keyboard, drums. He does it all. So a person of extreme talent. And I said all that to say, not to just hype my boy up. It's twofold though. But also to talk about a person who has, we're talking about creative droughts, a person who has all that talent, but still there's a point where it's like, God, I either can't come up with anything or I just don't want to. Like, I don't even feel like doing this. MJ, have you fell on either side of that? Like, how has it been for you? I know the answer is yes, which is why you're on the pod. But I want to hear exactly, what did that look like for you?
Well, yes. The answer is yes, but I don't know. For me, what it looked like for me, it was kind of scary. To be honest, it was like, well, I had just never kind of experienced that in the form in the way that I did. Like, I kind of went from. I mean, you've been a part of this very early on. Went from just being super eager, creating this, that, just, stuff all over the place, no matter how good it was at the time. But just to have the need to keep creating stuff, or whatever. And went from being super eager to doing the next thing, or being excited about this, something that I created, or even something that I heard. And I went from that to just kind of like, I don't care. Like, it's like, I don't really,
it became
like,
work.
or do I? It's like, and for me, it's like, yeah, it became less fun, I guess. That's a good way of putting it. But, and I don't know, that's just a little scary for me, because you just don't really expect for that to happen until it just does. And then you're like, well, what the hell do I do about it?
Mm-hmm.
And even you try to figure out how to do it, but it's hard dealing with that when you're also dealing with life too. And sometimes where there was a time where life may have even inspired me, it's almost the opposite now, where life is draining me from it. So it's, in a sense, in a way.
Now that's a different take, and I like that take, because it's also triggering for me, because life has a way of getting in the way of things, all the time, and it will depending on, I know everybody for 2020 was a terrible year. It's a year that I wish to forget, with deaths that we've seen, just the state of the country, the world, even, COVID, obviously, like, it sucked for a lot of people, including us, the creatives.
Yeah.
And there are some people who took this time to be like, man, this is the time where I'm probably at my, I heard people say, like, this is where I was like, I was inspired the most during this time. And for some people, it was like, yo, it's too much on me. Like, I'm not thinking about art. I'm not thinking about creating. I'm not thinking about writing a song. Like, my mama just died. Yeah. My grandma just died. I got COVID, and the world, like, niggas is getting killed by police still. It's heavy on my mind. I'm broke. I had to get off work, like, because of COVID, and I need to feed my family. Like, I'm not thinking about. That's where life really happens, and it kind of gets in the way. And I'm glad you spoke about that, because I think that's kind of the same sentiment that a lot of people have. I do. Now, you said you were scared. That's interesting to me, because if I felt that, right? I felt, I've been in a situation where I felt like I was in a drought creatively, or a creative drought. Well, I feel like I wasn't inspired. I feel like I wasn't, motivated at all. But, and I think we may have had conversations, MJ, about this, but like, when I feel like that, like if I'm sitting at my computer, I'll just close Logic and I'll pick it up the next day. Like, and I may get it next time, or, whatever. Like, I've never gotten to the point where I feared that maybe I lost it forever, or I just got scared. Was it for you that you thought it would never come back, and that's why you were scared?
No, not necessarily that I thought it would never come back. I guess the reason why I say that I was scared is because, well, for me personally, when you identify, like, I very much so for a while, I guess I still do, but for the context of what we're talking about here, when you kind of identify, like, you all about music, and you all about creating. You just kind of, that's just kind of who you are. And because you so fresh in the game, you want everybody to know it, and that's all you want to talk about, it's all you do. And then when I guess the drought hit, and you sitting there, you can't think of anything, or you don't feel inspired to just practice, just get better. You feel inspired to do nothing. For me, that was almost a sense of the loss of identity. So that's what made me scared.
That is. I didn't think we were gonna get this deep, but that's
If I can't do this, it's like, well, then who am I now if I'm not that? If I can't do that, so that's what makes and for me what made me scared. Not necessarily that I didn't think it would come back, because I knew it would come back, because I just knew that it wouldn't stay that way, because deep down it could. I mean, I just hear a commercial or something, and I'm like, yo, what was that? Or whatever. So I knew it wouldn't stay like that. It's just that at that time, for instance, like you mentioned 2020, right? Mm-hmm. How terrible of a year that was. But when you think about it, for a lot of people, I'm just going to speak on myself. For a few months or whatever, I wasn't working. I couldn't work. So, I'm chilling. And even when I started back work, I was working from home and all this extra stuff. But nothing else was happening. There was no gigging. There was no nothing. It was, nothing else was happening. It's pretty much, if you was fortunate enough to still work, it was work, and then it pretty much was it. And you would think that somewhere during that time, I find an inspiration to create something, because I had nothing but time, because nothing was happening. But that's the scary part for me about it. Even though I'm sitting right across from all my equipment or whatever, and it's almost like I just didn't identify. Like I'm just look at it, and it's like, well, like, what am I supposed to do with that? Like, do I go over there?
Yeah.
And and from it's just scary to me, because it's almost just like I said, like kind of a loss of identity in a way. It's like, well, that was such a huge part of my life. It is still a huge part of my life, and that drive. It's not just that; it's that drive. It's like, I don't know. It was just So for me, that's why I say it's just a little scary for me.
That's crazy to hear. Because I feel like even though, like, I relate to what you said, because like the identity part of it. Like, take this out and I'm not me. Like, take this away from me. Take music away from me. It's like that's literally who I am. Like, it's two things. I joke with my wife, like, my sense of humor and me being a creative, that just comes with me. That's just a package. My sense of humor, my art. You take those away, I don't know who I am. Like, I think that's for a lot of people. And then I think also a lot of people act like they're so heavy on this shit, and they're not really doing numbers, playing the tambourine at church.
That was rough.
Everybody's not a creative, by the way. That's it. I just want to get that out. But I understand it being a part of your identity. Now, where I can't necessarily relate is I never thought, because like my drought, so to speak, is different, right? I guess I'll take this time for me.
Yes.
And Lysa triggered this when she was talking about like the way she did so much for everybody else. Like, I feel like there was a time where I was moving and everything I did creatively was not for me. It was for somebody else.
Yeah.
And that's great. Like, it's still, I'm still creating. I'm still getting things done, but it's for everybody else. And when I get a chance to actually, at the end of the day, sit at my desk and try to cook up something for me, like, I'm creatively exhausted, if that's a term. I have nothing left in the tank for me. I believe Lysa said pouring from an empty glass, right? And that's annoying as heck.
Better word. Much better word.
Because, dog, like, most of the times, I mean, let's just keep it a band. Like, most of the times we're creating for these people who, number one, they're probably not appreciating it like they should. We're probably getting underpaid.
If paid.
If paid. Right?
If paid.
Because, I mean, keep it a band. Nobody's going to appreciate what you do more than you anyway.
Even more, a lot of those people don't know what it costs.
They don't know what it costs. Oh.
Man, that just downloaded on me so heavy. Because I think if people knew the half... Download, crap. If people knew the half of what it takes to birth all of these beautiful things, hell, I don't think they'd want to do it.
They wouldn't call you because they know they couldn't afford you.
Even more, I think it'll wreck their whole understanding. Because all they see is a finished product, but they don't see the blood, the sweat, the tears, the mental wars, the physical wars to birth this thing.
And we talked about that a little bit in episode 2, Put Some Respect on My Name, you know, about how you're not paying for actually the job, you're paying for the know-how.
Yep, the know-how and the experience. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? But you don't know what that does to like, bro, the things that we've done, I mean, some things that we've worked on together, MJ, like, for people, for other people, like, we put time in, like, the sweat equity is like, that stuff takes time. It takes a lot of thought and all this crap. And at the end of the day, we got something dope, but we're tired, nigga. Like, we did a lot just for you to get on there and sing on it. You know what I mean? And you're just like, oh, well, thanks, man. This is great. Here go $10.
He go $50.
I was finna say he go 4%, but that's crazy.
#sharp4. I was going that far back.
No, I'm gonna leave it up.
Here go 4%. Oh, don't even talk about the shop 4. You talking about Valor. I won't say his name, but Valor. Shout out to Valor. That don't exist anymore. But
could have been great.
We do all that stuff, bro, and it's taxing on us mentally. Like, and when it comes down to actually creating for ourselves, which we're not paying ourselves, obviously, like, we're not getting anything from it, but it's fulfilling to us, I guess, but we have nothing to give after that. And I think that's where if I had a drought experience, that's where it came from for me. And I had to get to a point, and I think I want to talk about with both of you, like, how do you get out of that? And since I'm on it already, like, for me, I just had to start valuing myself a little more. Because I got to a point, like, a little bit before I did my project back in 2019. If you guys remember, because you both were around during that time. Well, MJ wasn't so much. But God bless MJ. I love my brother.
God bless you, nigga.
But
I'm just
but the making of it, I mean, some of those songs, like, you know, most of those songs actually. Anyway, whatever, y'all gonna get me off on a tangent. But I had to realize, like, bro, after all that, out of all the stuff that I'm doing, that's why I started, like, doing stuff like traveling. Like, and I'll be glad. I can't wait till I go on a trip after this COVID crap. I still haven't gone anywhere, guys. Lysa been all over the country. MJ been all over the country, yeah.
Relax.
But did you bring me anything back from New?
Anyway,
Never mind.
I had to start just valuing myself a little more, like actually giving time to my stuff versus using the time that I have left over. Everybody gets that thing in the middle of the night. You know what I mean? You want to write down, record a voice note. You get that whatever in the most inopportune times while you driving. It's like you hear a melody,
I gotta pull over.
you get an idea for a drawing or a painting. Like you get that. Like everybody has that, but then you put that on the back burner. It's like, oh, I'll get to it when I get to it because of whatever priorities you have for somebody else. Like I got this rehearsal for this person and I committed for this gig to, whatever. It's like, bro, we
Right.
end
And
up
when you go back and look at it, and you recorded that like a year ago. You're
right.
like, what?
But that's how it be. That's how it be. And for me, I had to just say, yo, I'm gonna actually do what I want to do for me. Still get my stuff. I'm still, get my stuff off and help others and still, be a for hire musician or producer, whatever. I'll still get that stuff done, but I'm gonna start prioritizing my own stuff. Cause, working when the quote unquote creative juices are flowing is a real thing. Cause sometimes they ain't flowing.
I think that's something that I had to start doing. I don't think my first of all, I mean, to answer the question that you were talking about, how do you make it out of your creative droughts? I don't think I ever made it out of mine, and it's kind of funny, but it's mad true. But the creative burst or just those inspiring moments that I did get, I had to capitalize on those because I didn't know when I was going to get another one.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I have done, or at least what I've been more proactive about doing, is making sure I sow that time or those moments that I am inspired into stuff that matters, into stuff that I just truly believe in, or into just where it just makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Because, again, I don't know when I'm going to get those moments back. And even more, that kind of forced me to take a scan back at myself. And this is something that I'm doing right now. Again, I'm not trying to make this a super sad thing. This is just me recognizing my process.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you what my creative process would look like if it wasn't contingent upon me doing a job for somebody else. And that is how far. Look, I'm saying this from a spot of overcoming, but that's how far.
That sucks, though, bro.
Yeah, I can't tell you what my life would look like if a day where I don't have a rehearsal, I have to work on anything for somebody, I'm asleep. Or I can't tell you what I would be doing creatively because if I didn't have anything to do for anybody else. And so I'm saying that don't let it get to that point.
Word. I've been there.
It's crazy. I had a conversation with my pastor a year ago now, what is your purpose? What can you see yourself doing? What do you want to do? I could not answer that question, and it was devastating. Because I couldn't see the forest from the trees on that, outside of if I didn't have to do something for anybody else. I didn't want it to take that type of turn, but that's a thing. So, work while it's day, man.
Cause when
to add a little bit to that, I think it's important. I think another thing.
I'm sorry, MJ. Work while it's day, right there. It's funny. Finish it out.
Cause when not.
Huh? No. What?
No.
Okay, I'm sorry, MJ. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say
church kid problems, man. Pray for us.
To probably to help get out of it. One thing that will probably help. Well, have I gotten out of it or out of the slump or whatever you want to call it? I think I have to a certain extent, but I don't feel like I have completely though. I still feel very much held back from something that I haven't even figured out yet. Mm-hmm. Something that hasn't even been uncovered yet. Still just something's I feel held back. I just can't get to my full potential. So not quite, not all the way out of it, but I'm getting there, working on it. But something that I think helps also, what I realize is which kind of played a part of putting me in that um drought was life, like, but like the people who's kind of around you, right? So it what makes it difficult now, I understand certain people are just super 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 self motivated, and they just with it, they don't get after it.
Yeah.
And I can appreciate somebody like that, but there's also not a lot of realism to that. Well, in my own opinion, because I feel like you can very much be self motivated, but it still helps to have other people around you just helping,
like-minded,
just being positive, just being positive, right? And when you have people around you that's looking at what you're doing, and not only are you seeing that certain projects that you may do didn't amount to what it probably should have been or what it could have amounted to because of the people who was involved, either just didn't handle it right, or burn some bridges, or were just dumb. So you seeing all that work and it's not amounting to nothing. Not only are you dealing with the mental aspects of that and what that does for your own ego, not ego, but your own, I'll just say what it does to your own inspiration or whatever. But then other people see that, and now other people are talking down on everything. I don't, like other people are like, I don't know, why are you still trying to do that? Why are you still doing this? Why are you still doing that? Doing a lot of things that older folk like to say that know that I do this. You gotta only 0.1% people make it in the whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, all this negativity, and it that just wears you out a little bit too. And then sometimes that all that stuff gets in your mind, and that you start, while you sitting in front of that keyboard or whatever, and you start trying to do stuff, that stuff come back in your mind. You like, I mean, what am I doing this for? Right? Like, I mean, is this? I'm finna make this.
Probably not gonna make it anyway.
You know what I'm saying? So, right. So, right. Jeez. So it's like, it's who you have around you too. Like, not, you don't need a lot of. What doesn't help is a lot of negative energy with the stuff that kind of plays a part. In at least I'll speak for myself. It played a part for me and put me in that genre as well. When there's not a lot of positivity talking about it or around it, and dealing with churches and always trying to make. I know for a fact we have a tendency to even when it, we know people. And we see that most other musicians or producers, whoever, whatever, they aren't going to put in they're not going to put in a whole lot of effort if they realize that it's just a little regular type of gig or something like that.
It's true.
But being us, all of us here, Jared too, if he's listening, we put a lot into even the smallest little something. We still we put a lot into that. Mm-hmm. And when you're doing that, for me, when you're doing that, you make stuff better, and you try your best to just do the best you can with whatever you have presented in front of you and just make it better. Mm-hmm. And you got people also not showing any type of appreciation for it. That makes you feel like I don't get me wrong. You don't have to sit up there and, act like somebody that I'm not. But that just constantly happens where people just don't even notice, don't even care, don't even that kind of, for me, also played a part in that as well.
I want to say because that was a lot. Number one, but the few things that I heard were one, because I was listening to my wife's podcast. Shout out to the Unsafe Butt podcast.
Yeah.
And we were talking about being saved and stuff like that. But one of the big things that led them, is that having community, having like-minded folk, right? Like, and that is a thing that, because everybody is not so self-motivated or self-starters, as they call them. And if you go for a job, like, are you a self-starter? I hated that always.
Stupid.
But everybody's not like that. And even if you are, it's more, you get motivated by you seeing other people doing the same thing. You to have a community, basically. Also, and then the thing of all the negative comments or just negative energy, right, kind of puts you there. But that last thing you said,
man,
nigga, let me tell you something.
We talked about that before too.
Oh gosh,
that United Center experience for the storefront.
For the storefront, yes.
That's
putting all we can into these little rinky-dink churches that you niggas call me for a job.
Churches too.
Yeah, and y'all, and I'm putting all this effort into creating the best that you possibly can get out of what you have, only for you to not appreciate it. How could that? How can't that discourage someone from continuing to go forward with that? Like, my nigga, if I
I'm interject really quick, real quick, off of what you said, and people because we just play or we just have an ear. People take that stuff and they just be like, oh, you just made a song with 15 tracks.
I can do that.
That's just, but you do that though.
Anybody can do that.
That stuff is not easy. And when you sit there for, like you were saying, the little storefront churches or whatever small gig that it may be, and you've done it, and you sitting there without, you making trying to do whole concerts for a Sunday service or something.
Yeah.
And, meanwhile, the people who are supposed to pay you is complaining about paying you the amount that they say it's too much.
When it's really not enough. And by the way, I want to be very clear, because we're not some disgruntled people talking about this. I want to be very clear that there's some people who are just ignorant. Right? And I don't mean ignorant in a negative sense. I mean the literal definition of ignorance. Some people literally just don't understand, don't know what all it takes to, to do something. I had somebody tell me, I'll say it. I think I may have alluded to this in episode 2, but I had somebody tell me I had a job to do. I'm hired. I'm the producer on the gig. So I get a band together. And even some that wasn't shit like, I had to go hire somebody else. Recorded music, and had to pay for one instrument twice because it wasn't to the boss's satisfaction, right? How much it costs? X amount of dollars is what I said, and that person told me I can go get that done somewhere else. It shouldn't cost that much. Now, to her credit, not to her credit, but in her defense, she just don't know. She doesn't know, number one, what it takes. Also doesn't know what people actually charge for this type of stuff. Like, you're getting a discount. But for people, it's insulting when you do that. They don't know that it is, but that's insulting when you do that. And if I'm going to continue to get insulted when I'm doing my art that I take pride in, what is my self-esteem supposed to be like that? What if I got low self-esteem? Right. Or what if I'm self-conscious about, specifically about my art?
Mm-hmm.
You think I'm gonna have a desire or I'm inspired to move forward with that after you insult my art like that? Like, why would I do this? I'm gonna quit. Like it's just not. It's not. There's nothing in it for me. Sheesh. That's good.
So I just think it's and it's tough. It's tough to be in those situations because people don't realize. I mean, like what I said before, like when you're somebody that really put in, like they'll put in the effort, and what people don't realize is you a lot of other guys are here, and I'm not faulting them. If you're gonna pay them nothing, then they gonna treat the kid like it's nothing. I don't really fault them for that.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't realize that. Like you getting effort. Like you gonna get, you know what I'm saying? And when you're ready to really go in and put in work for, a little show or something like that, it's deflating. That's all. It's just deflating sometimes.
Yeah. Completely understood. I mean, I think the beauty of it, or I won't say the beauty of it, but like, yeah, I guess the great thing of actually coming out of that, like,
yeah,
because it always feels the best. I'll say that. Like when you've been trying, because I know for me, I go through those times where I just literally I can't come up with nothing. It's writer's block. It's nothing that I do in Logic or trying to arrange something or whatever. Like, and I'm getting nothing. And I just literally turn off the next day, come back, same thing. Next day, come back, same thing. But when I finally hit, gosh.
Now you start now you've been doing something for like 6 hours already.
Yeah, bro. I'm celebrating.
I'm like, what?
Pour me a drink.
I gotta go to bed.
But then that's when niggas be like, "Oh, you don't understand the stuff I've been through to get this beat made, get this song." Hey,
Stop that.
Stop doing
That's
that.
Funny.
You don't always gotta go through trauma to birth the dope stuff.
That's completely maybe a little off topic, but like, yo,
That's the thing.
Everybody's like kind of what do you call it? Soliciting sympathy.
Everybody want the testimony. It's like testimony service. Like they want the testimonies that's gonna cause you to hit the loop. Okay.
Yeah, and it's like I don't care that you were a prostitute.
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry. I mean, if you were, God bless you, and I'm glad that you're not anymore. But yo, like no, because they do be like having testimony wars. You know they do that in church. It's like, oh, she said she was on drugs. Wait till I pull this crack and sucking. Wait till I pull that out. She ain't gonna be here. But some people need to stop. Stop leading with struggle for every record. And I'm sorry, MJ, you ain't even got to chime in on this. But stop leading with struggle every time you drop. Like, we don't really care. We just want to hear good music or whatever art
content, whatever it looks like.
Whatever art you're presenting, whether you write films, you take pictures. I don't know. I don't care. Paint, sing, put out music. I don't need to hear every single time that, man, the devil was just really busy and I couldn't, like, nigga.
But I got
everybody got bills. I know I do. Everybody gets sick sometimes. I know I do. Everybody go through stuff. The kids don't act right. The dog won't bark right. Nigga, it happens.
The dog won't bark.
To everybody. Everybody goes through life. Everybody be lifing.
What's wrong with the dog, though? Like, what happened?
The dog won't bark right. I can't get bad at it.
The dog don't be barking right sometimes. And my dog right now, I don't know what she going through. She's bleeding from her, you know what I mean? She becoming a woman. And I literally didn't know what to do. I'm going to tell you like this. I didn't know what to do. I don't want a dog anymore. I don't, you know what I mean?
Okay, I'm done here now.
But this is the first time, I mean, we already a week and 2 days in. Like, this is the first time y'all hearing about that, all right? Like, it's, but yeah, stop leading with struggle. We're pretty much done, bro.
Oh, man.
We're done for the most part.
What a tangent.
I do want to say to everybody, though, seriously, don't let if you're in a creative drought, if you're going through that right now, like, do not let that stop you. Like, don't give up all hope just because
You're still valuable.
Absolutely.
You're still brilliant. You just probably need a little break or something.
And the talent is still there. Like, and I have faith that, people could find the inspiration again. Because I don't think you lose the talent. As a matter of fact, or gifts. As a matter of fact, the gifts and callings of God, like, he don't take them back. Right?
He don't apologize for him either. He meant for you to have that thing.
So, and this ain't that, but it's that.
It's that.
Like, you have it for a reason. I believe that people can get inspired again. It happened for me. Happened for Lysa.
Again.
It's happening for Lysa. We praying with her.
Any day now.
And also just value yourself. Like, I put a quote up. I put it in spite of someone else, but I mean it. Value yourself enough to recognize when others don't. Hey, your stuff is important. You are important. If you just like to create, just create stuff just to play in your own house, that's important. Mm-hmm. Right? We're doing all this work for everybody else. Yo, take some time out for you to create for you, if you desire to. Some people don't want to do that, but I do. I'm trying to put out a second album. If Lysa will finish the song. All right. But yeah, man.
We'll be here next year.
Value yourself, value your art. Thank you, MJ. Thank you, MJ. Thank you, MJ, for coming on the pod again and sharing, man. Because I feel like MJ really got kind of deep.
You dropped some. I wasn't expecting that thing to go that route, but you shed a light on some stuff that. Man, I didn't even know that I was.
Okay. All right. Kind of a little bit. It's okay though.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. So yeah, really, really, really appreciate you, MJ. And he also, he'll probably be back on again one day.
You're stuck.
It's second time on the pod. It's
third time's the charm.
Is this the second time that you? Because you did that first time. It was like an hour before. You're like, hey.
You're not supposed to say that for the people. Thank you. But yeah,
find out on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, MJ was scheduled for this pod 3 years ago. But
hour ago, no flex.
But no, we really do appreciate you. By the way, continue to watch. Obviously, continue to subscribe. I am wearing this shirt, by the way. Positive Vibes. I believe Rex Hardy. This is Rex Hardy's.
Oh yeah.
So I got it for Amazon. I'll put the info up. But super dope. It's black too, guys. Black. Shout out to Rex.
We love black-owned business.
Shout out to Rex Hardy. What do you got? Oh, you got Vine. We kind of
in the same.
In the same.
Yeah, it's another drummer. This is actually Vibes by DJ Perkins, Southside. I mean, on the West Side, but it's my boy. He has a clothing line called Vibes, and he's been doing some crazy work with that over the course of the last few years, I want to say. And yeah, it's dope. Go buy it. I actually want another one. He got masks and stuff too. So support black-owned businesses.
Super dope.
Both Chi-Town bred. So
super dope. We're gonna put that stuff up here. By the way, as always, if you got brands, hats, shirts, hoodies,
you want to buy it
sweat,
or
whatever.
send us stuff.
Yeah, definitely. We like free stuff too, but we will buy it.
We will buy it.
I mean, we've been doing that.
But P.O. Box 411.
I mean, word. By the way, it's overflowing. I gotta go get that.
Really?
But yeah. Crap. Thank everybody for watching, G. It's the Backroom Speaks podcast.
The brave space for creators, because find me another one. Find me another one. You can't find me another one. You can't find me another one.
Of the back room, it was all bad fumes in the back room. Skeleton-filled closets in the back too. You can talk about it. 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 You can in the back room of the back room. It was all bad fumes in the back room. Skeleton-filled closets in the back too. You can talk about it. 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 You can talk about it.